Welcome back to the channel. I trust that you're doing well. Is Ethereum setting up for a massive move to the upside? We're going to take a look at some of the accumulation for Ethereum. We'll check out the sentiment of the market, and there's some bears with some really large short positions on Ethereum. Do they know something that we don't, or are they about to get wrecked and completely liquidated? We'll cover all that in this video, and we'll do a little bit of technical analysis on Ethereum as well, so stick around and let's get into the video. And finally, we have ourselves a sea of green across the alt sector. What a sight for sore eyes. We've got some big winners today. We have Stellar Lumens up 11.8%. We've got SPX up 8.2%. Pole up 6.7%. We've got Form at 6.6% and Ray up 8.5%. So congratulations to anybody that's holding those coins. We do still see a little bit of red mixed in with the green. We see Bonk taking a big hit today, down 9.9%, ZEC down 7.9%, and Floki down 3.6%. But all in all, it's been a great day so far for the alt sector. And moving along to the crypto fear and greed index, we see it is still dead center in the neutral zone, still ticking at a 52, hasn't even changed since my last video. Little bit surprising with all the green today, hasn't even moved up a single point. Now, as far as a sentiment indicator is concerned, this has plenty of room to run to the upside. So if the bulls continue to push prices higher, this thing has a long ways to go before it becomes extremely greedy and overheated. If for whatever reason selling was to re-enter the market, we saw prices falling to the downside, well, again, this has a long ways to go before it reaches that extreme fear and gets overheated to the downside. Just still sitting dead neutral. And moving right along to the Ethereum ETF inflows and outflows. We do still see some accumulation happening here from the ETFs, but in fairness, it is slowing down a little bit, at least for the ETFs. We can see that there was a pretty good day on July 2nd where we saw a net inflow of 601 million. We can see on July 6th that there was a net inflow of 216 million. And then we can see on July 7th that there was a net inflow of 80 million. So we can see it kind of tapering off a little bit, but accumulation is still happening across the ETFs. And moving on to a post here from Ted, he says when Ethereum hits 2,800, all these bears will get liquidated. And if we look at some of these positions over here, we can see that liquidations begin at 2,661. The first position to go would be a position size of 846 Ethereum. This trader is using 25x leverage on cross margin. But check out this one down below here. We have a position size of 50,000 Ethereum. This trader is on 10x leverage using cross margin as well. And their liquidation point comes in at 2,796. Now remember folks, be careful with high amounts of leverage. Unless you really know what you're doing, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Either these traders know something that we don't, or they're about to get wrecked. And if these positions are forced to close, that's going to add some rocket fuel to the price of Ethereum and will probably thrust it to a much higher price point. Now, if I quickly bring in the price of Ethereum on this chart right here, we can see that it is very close. So Ethereum at the time of making this video is trading at 2,656. And the first liquidation comes in at 2,661. So we are getting very, very close. So if these positions are still open, these traders are on the verge of being wrecked. So we'll see what happens there. Now, if any of you would like to learn about trading, come over to my YouTube channel, click right here where it says playlists. And right here, you're going to find a whole bunch of free tutorials, not just for exchanges, but also for wallets as well. And these are all playlists. Now, for example, if I click here on Blowfin, you'll see it'll expand and it becomes— in this video, oh, you calm down, sir. It'll expand and become an entire playlist of videos of all the way how to use the exchange front to back, as well as how to do specific things like how to set take profit targets, trailing stop losses, you name it. So if you're interested in learning how any of this works, come learn how to do it for free on my channel. If you're in the United States and you're looking for a non-KYC option, Blowfin seems to be a good option right now, and BitUnex as well. And we also have Weeks Exchange here. Those are all pretty good exchanges. I use all of them, obviously. But anyways, if you're interested in learning how to do any of that, come over to my channel, take advantage of the free content first before placing any of your first trades. And moving on to a final post here from Cointelegraph. This one is a little bit older, saying that Tom Lee explains why he thinks Ethereum is the new Bitcoin. Not necessarily. Let's be real. Ethereum is not the new Bitcoin. But what Tom Lee is up to is he's accumulating Ethereum as a treasury asset, kind of like Michael Saylor's doing with Bitcoin. And what Tom Lee's trying to do is he's trying to get ahead of all the major banks that he thinks is going to be deploying stable coins onto the Ethereum network, and before the flood of real world assets comes to Ethereum as well. Now, some people are are laughing at Tom Lee, but that's nothing he isn't used to. Back in 2018, Tom Lee was calling for a price point of $55,000 per Bitcoin. Everyone thought it was hilarious. And of course, as we sit here today, Bitcoin's at $109,000. Tom Lee is a smart individual, and personally, I wouldn't be fading him. I do think that this is bullish for Ethereum. Now, if you want to learn more about this, you can either come over here to Cointelegraph, you can watch this clip, or watch one of my last videos on Ethereum where I cover it in more detail. And taking a look at the price action of Ethereum on a daily time frame, we'll do a follow-up analysis from my last video. And Ethereum putting in a really nice candle today so far, being up just about 2% at the time of making this video. We see that Ethereum closed another nice candle right above that 377 down below. And so far today, we're seeing some follow through to the upside. So things are beginning to look a lot better for the bulls. We can also see that Ethereum is now opening and closing several daily candles above that white 200 simple moving average. In the past, we can see that the 200 was challenged many times right in here. We can see it was challenged here as well as in here. And each time it was just hitting its head on that and rejected to the downside. We did see Ethereum get above the 200 back here, did close some candles there, but immediately sold back down below it. This time around, not only are we seeing more candles open and close above the 200, but we're also beginning to see some of the other major moving averages begin to cross through the 200 as well as they chase price action to the upside. So not only are we getting candle body closures above that 200, but now the moving averages are beginning to cross through there and regain a bullish posturing. So the bulls are certainly getting stronger and stronger by the day, at least at the time of making this video. If I go ahead and turn some of these moving averages off, let's just go ahead and bring this up, and we'll come down to just the 55 and the 200. And as you can see, the 55, which is in green, is about to cross through the 200 exponential moving average, and that's what's known as a golden cross. If we look left, you can see right here, Ethereum got the death cross, and what happened from there, price action just melted to the downside. And now we're getting the inverse of that. We're getting the golden cross potentially soon. If Ethereum continues to work its way up, this cross will inevitably happen, and when it does, we're back into a bullish posturing as far as those moving averages are concerned. Dropping down to some of the momentum here, we can see that the stochastic, it is getting into the critical zone here, but is up. And the stochastic can stay in the critical zone when price action gets really strong. It can stay there for quite some time. The main takeaway from the stochastic here is the fact that it is pointed up, looking for more bullish momentum to the upside as price action marches higher. Dropping down to the RSI looking good. It's coming into contact with the edge of the bullish control zone. And just below it, we can see the EMA is now aggressively sloped to the upside as well. And the RSI has plenty of room to go here on a daily time frame as bulls, as bulls begin to build up some momentum here. Down on the MACD, we see the MACD, it did get just below the neutral zone, the bearish control zone, getting a fresh cross to the upside. And now we can see that the moving average convergence divergence is picking up some strength to the upside. So all the momentum indicators here are agreeing with each other as price action moves to the upside. So with that all being said, the next area that I'm looking at is this purple box that I slapped on the chart in the last video. That is marking this pivot right here. The bottom side of the box is marking these two candle bodies at approximately 2,815, and the top side of the box is marking this wick right here, coming in at approximately 2,879. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for some daily candle body closures above that area, as that was the last area where we had a pretty steep sell-off to the downside. So if Ethereum can break above this box, start holding above that box on good volume down below, then the bulls are going to be gaining quite a bit of control at that point in time. The bulls are already looking good here, but if they get above there, things start to get really interesting for Ethereum. So I'm going to leave that box in the chart, and we'll come back to this as things progress. But as it sits today, with Ethereum being up almost 2% at the time of recording, things are looking better and better for the bulls. Now, for a bias buster or for a bearish scenario here, well, first of all, we need to see price action roll over, of course, get back down below these two moving averages, the 55 and 200, and to take out this pivot here. That pivot has candle bodies at 2,406, and these wicks down here coming in around approximately 2,374. If Ethereum, for whatever reason, was to roll over here, maybe bad news comes in the market or whatever, taking out that pivot there, and the bears will be fighting back at that point in time. Things get really ugly for Ethereum if it starts closing down below this pivot right here. Those candle bodies are coming in at 2,225, and this wick right here is coming at 2,114. So obviously if Ethereum was to roll, get all the way down below that area there, that's when Ethereum's under a great deal of pressure from the bears at that point in time. That's not what I think is happening here. I'm bullish on Ethereum. I think we're moving into pretty much the last phase of this bull run. How long that lasts, I don't know, but I think Ethereum is gonna catch a bid during this time and likely go on to do some really good things. That is my bias, but my bias begins to change if, you know, Ethereum starts closing down below this pivot, but more so down below here. So if Ethereum was to roll over from here and get down below this wick at 2001.16, well, there's just really no making excuses for it at that point in time. But that is not what I'm expecting. I think Ethereum is looking good. My bias is to the upside. So far, the bulls are putting in works. Let's just see what happens. My confirmation for, you know, things getting really interesting for Ethereum, as I stated earlier, is above this purple box. So we start seeing candle bodies close above there, and then things get really exciting for Ethereum. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's what I got for you on Ethereum. That does it for this one, everyone. What are your thoughts? Are you bullish on Ethereum? It sure has been an underperformer in this cycle so far. But do you think it's about to pick itself back up and have a hated rally to the upside going into Q3, Q4? Or do you remain bullish on Ethereum and you think it's just going to go down into the crypto abyss? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.